Hey guys, Mike with the Mega Multi-Mic here, and I'm doing my very first interview episode, and I got with me Alex Estrada. In a little bit you're going to see another segment of our video, and I'm introducing him again, but just to do it real quick, we work together at a real estate investment company, so he's a real estate guy. And as part of the whole Mega Multi-Mic idea, of having multiple businesses, multiple interests, and still being able to do all the things that you love. I'm doing this interview series where we have one episode every single month, where I'm interviewing another entrepreneur while talking about or doing the things that they enjoy doing as hobbies. So it turns out Alex here is an avid horror fan. So we're going to talk a little bit about horror stuff. And while we're in that, I guess the mindset or the topic, we want to frame it from the perspective of our business. So in Alex's case, that's real estate. And you'll see here in a bit, we did something kind of fun. But before we get to that, I want to talk about your experience with horror stuff. So like, why the genre of horror? Like what attracts you to that?
Well, should I talk about my very first movie that I saw?
Yeah, what was your very first horror movie?
John Carpenter's Pet Semetary.
Pet Semetary?
Yeah, I love that. I love that movie. That movie literally scared the shit out of me. I was scared to get a cat or a dog just because of that movie for the longest time. Even my mom bought me my first dog shortly after I saw that movie, and I let it go because I was scared that it was going to come back and kill me or something.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And long story short, that dog ended up getting ran over down the street. Oh, I should not let it go. I was like, my bad.
How old were you when you saw that movie?
I was probably like 8 years old.
8 years?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom was very strict on us growing up watching like horror films and all that stuff, but I actually saw that movie because I spent a night across the street from where we were living. Okay. And so I ended up watching that very first movie. And even though I was scared, shitless and everything, the crazy story too is that shortly after I watched that movie, I also had a very paranormal experience at the house that we currently lived at that time. There was this lady who had supposedly died there, and she died of I don't remember if it was either a heart attack or of old age. Okay. And I actually saw her apparition walking by, because they all started off with hearing opera music at night, hearing a woman sing. I also saw. There was times where when I would come home, I would walk home because I was going to Will Rogers at this time. I was right across the street from Edison High School, and I would walk home, and we had moved into this nice home, right? And it was, even at that time, I was very impressed on how we were able to afford that. Like at 8 years old, I understood, I was like, man, it's crazy. We got this nice ass house. It's like, man, what my mom do, you know what I'm saying? So it was called little after we moved in, I started like feeling like somebody was always watching me in the house, and then it manifested into like creepy noises. Like the floor was wooden, it was pure beams floor, so you would hear somebody walking down, like wood creak, the whole, what you see on movies, how you start hearing things or how they start showing stuff like starting to happen, down the story. But it is exactly what happened to me. And it got to the point where one night I used to watch that show Xena, Warrior Princess and Hercules, and at night, and I would always fall asleep with the TV on watching that, and it started, the TV started acting up.
Wood frame box.
Yeah. It's that wood grain deck, some wood grain wheel. What's called? Yeah. So it actually started happening at night where this channel would click by itself. Your imagination, whatever, and then it actually was getting worse. It was getting worse as of it would only happen around me for one, right? And then after that, what's it called? At night, it started happening more frequently during the day than it was happening at night, and that started. Really started worrying me, right? I was like, okay, now I know something really is going on, because I tell you just one story too. I keep going up. I know, man, but it's so crazy and this story and what happened to me in that house, like it drew me to ghosts. It drew me to like the whole horror like films, and you know, it was just very intriguing. And to this day I watch Ghost Hunters all the time, and that what happened to me in that house like really stuck with me for the rest of my sticking with me for the rest of my life, right? So anyways, it started getting really bad when I came home. My sister, she stayed after school. I ended up walking home, and then as soon as I got into the house, I thought somebody was on the other. I thought it was my grandma at the time. My grandma lived with us, and I put the key in and I locked it, and it quickly like turned back by itself, as if somebody on the other side was holding the door. And locked it or whatever.
Okay.
And it's weird too, because even if you're on the other side, if you were to do that, the key wouldn't turn on your side like that. You know what I'm saying? Which was kind of weird to me at first, right? I'm like, what the hell? At first, you know, I was 8 years old. I didn't have the common sense I have now. So I thought, you know, somebody was on the other side of the door, trying to like keep, trying to lock it again. And then I heard somebody like stepped. Have you ever like went up to the door and you can feel somebody on the other knock on the door or whatever, and on the other side you can hear somebody walking up to the door or whatever? It felt like that, and so I thought it was at first I thought it was my sister, and I was like, hey, stop messing around, let me in. And then I remembered, you know, my sister's at school. I'd left her there, right? And so I thought it was my grandma. I was like, Grandma, can you please stop, please? Like, I'm tired, you know. And then and then I remember my grandma had a double shift that day, so it couldn't be my grandma. So I started freaking out, right? And then as I like backed out and I closed the mesh front little door, I closed it, and then I can hear it unlock. And then I was like, okay. And then I was just like, all right, man, it's like in your head, right? So I opened it up. And I went inside and nobody was like there. I was like, hello. I checked all the rooms and nobody was in there. So I was already starting to get freaked out because of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? It's the unknown that scares people. And so as soon as you open the door, it's one long hallway, and towards the back, you turn left, and it's like a push door. It swings in and out, right? And so you go in there, and it's the kitchen, and the kitchen has all these cabinets and whatever, right? And then so I was like, whatever, right? And so I was quick to get on to watch The Simpsons, because they used to come on at 5 p.m. I was quick to get on the TV and watch that. And so I was starting to make some peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And anyways, I had closed one cabinet, and I turned around, and as I was walking towards the refrigerator, I opened it, and I heard behind me loud, simultaneous like noises happening at once. And I turned around, and all of the all the cabinets doors swung open hard, like as if it was in anger, and it scared me so much. And that's when I started getting scared. And then at night, after that at night, I made my sister move in my room with me, right? I was like, no, I'm not sleeping alone. And so anyway, so one specific night, so all this stuff is happening, right? So one specific night, I had woke up, and of course the TV was on, but it was on that man, I'm telling you, it was straight out of a movie. It was like the blank channel where it was
it's just static.
Yeah, static. Open next to me, I promise you not, bro. The door opened slowly, and then I was just staring, and then like everything started came to a calming halt, and then out of nowhere it got really quiet, and it was like no sound, as if like the sound all the way around me like just disappeared. And out of nowhere I see like this apparition of a lady just staring at me like that, going like that, dead eyes, bro. Like it was dark eyes. She had like no eyes at all, and it was so scary seeing her. But I had a sense of a safety come around me. It was weird, because like I wanted to be scared, but when I saw her, I wasn't scared. It was crazy. And after that day, like I've never I never ever kept that door unlocked once I was asleep. But I told my mom and I told my sister, and come to find out, I knew I wasn't crazy because actually 5 years later, I was actually going around in that neighborhood, and I was happened to be in that neighborhood. I was on my bike or whatever, on my little bicycle. And I stumbled across the neighbors across the street. I call her Tia Bonnie. Mm-hmm. And so I was telling her, hey, this and that. And I told her what happened. And she told me that a lady had passed away in there.
And stuff.
What was one of the first horror movies that you saw that really...
It.
Hi, Georgie. Aren't you going to say hello?
It... I think I saw
my
when
parents,
I was like 12, 13.
My parents are also pretty strict about the things I watched on TV. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't actually watch a lot of TV growing up. I think I didn't really start watching TV until I was like in high school. When Cartoon Network came out with Toonami, and they had the anime section, where it was like Gundam Wing, Dragon Ball Z, and a couple of other shows that came out. Like that was really the only thing I ever watched on TV. Like I hardly really watch TV.
When you have kids, are you gonna let them watch horror movies?
I'll let them when they're old enough.
For real?
Like
I started them young. Now my kids cannot get away from me at night. They're like, no, I'm scared. The clown. I was like, it's fake. Just go. I'm hungry. Go get me food. But my kids are like, Amber's all like, babe, why are you letting them watch things like that? I was like, what? I enjoyed it.
So here's one of those things, this is kind of what I want to have planned for when I let my kids watch horror movies for the first time. So I'm a really big werewolf fan. Mm-hmm. Like those are the kinds of the kind of horror that I like are like the werewolf centered stories. And I do like the zombie stuff. That's always entertaining. But for some reason the werewolf stuff is really fascinating for me. Mm-hmm. And so I want to introduce my kids to horror through a werewolf movie, right? I want
which one would you say?
Probably The Howling.
The Howling. Oh, that one was in the 80s, right? Yeah. That one, The Howling, that was pretty that was pretty tripped out with. After seeing it growing up, I'm like, man, side effects weren't really that good, Yeah. I was like, the side effects but that's a good one.
Or maybe American Werewolf in London. I think that one's a little bit more.
Isn't that one with Jack Nicholson, or is that the one with so there's Jack Nicholson in the Werewolf. That one's with Michelle Pfeiffer, I believe, the Jack Nicholson, the werewolf version. You also got, Benicio del Toro, in another American, in another werewolf, but that one takes place more in 1900s, early 1900s. That one was a pretty good one. American Werewolf, in London, or American Werewolf in London.
It was in the 80s as well. But that one, there's a lot of comedy elements in it, but it's definitely still classified as a horror movie. Okay. And that one was the special effects from the transformation was probably one of the defining things of horror at that time. Mm-hmm. Just because it was they went all out. It was pretty grotesque. But one of the things I want to do is I want to prank my kids when I show them this movie, right? So I want to have. God, dude, but check this out. So leading up to when I let them watch the movie, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell them something when they on their birthday. I'm gonna show them a movie and they have to wait until they see it, right? But 2 months leading up to it, I want to have a shed in the back, and every night I want to go out there with a bucket. And make it look like I'm carrying a bucket of meat or something, and go out there I'm feeding something.
Dude, that's crazy.
And then when they watch the movie, they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, Dad's been going out there. What's back there?" And
you should do some side effects and make some ruckus and stuff like that.
And just totally mess with them.
You know what movie, horror film that I actually thought was real for a long time was Blair Witch. I was a big Blair Witch fan. I was until they started making like multiple movies of them. I was like, all right, now it's just like it's not.
Yeah.
The original one scared the shit out of me. I thought that one was real.
You know, I think another really, really great, and it's still one of my favorites as far as horror movies go. I think I would also that might be like a top pick for what I introduce my kids to is The Thing.
The Thing. Oh, the one with the swamp.
No. It's The Thing is a John Carpenter movie, and it's about that research station up in like Alaska. or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's an alien that shapeshifts, and like nobody knows which one of them is the creature. And like it just like randomly mutates into something weird and like kills people. It's a pretty great movie.
I like the older movie. I used to be in love with the older horror movies, like in the 1950s, like The Blob.
Oh yeah.
I love those. Something about just random little putty just killing people and sucking people in, and I was like, ow! Yeah, that's pretty tight. I like those, but I think zombies and vampires are pretty, and not the Twilight Zone. I don't care about that one. But I think the more zombie movies than anything, apocalyptic horror movies as well. I'm so interested in seeing like horror movies where like something with the world happens, like the Book of Eli. What's it called? What another movie? 28 weeks later. 28 days later, just very like stuff with virus or the rage virus. What is it? What's another one?
Yeah, I mean, like they're all just like interesting scenarios. Like,
yeah.
When you think about it, like what would you actually do in a situation like that? You know.
Yeah.
And sadly, like a lot of what you see in the movies is probably what people would do.
Yeah.
And
so, like what to do.
They would just make like stupid choices.
Yeah. But I don't understand.
And that's part of the reason why I don't like watching like those Ghost Hunter TV shows, because like you see them doing their like investigations, and it's like, come on, guys, like that's not how it works. Like, but again, it's for entertainment value. I mean, that's how they make a living. Studios make money off of it, and people, for whatever reason, like to watch that stuff.
It bugs me when I see somebody knowing that with the decision they're about to make is going to get them killed. It pisses me off. I'm like, don't go in there. You know nothing's in there. Don't do it.
But the script says I have to.
I have to. I die in this movie. No, you don't have to. Yeah,
Shut up. You're not getting paid for this.
Yeah, man. Dude, that would bug me. I was screaming at the movies. I was like, don't do it. Babe, they're going to do it. Should I relax? Nah, man. But I do love Stephen King movies. The Dreamcatcher. That one was a good one. I thought that was a pretty good movie. It, of course. Yeah. I actually like the new It that they came out with. That one was the special effects and everything was off the change, man. I love the actor that played the Stephen King It as well. That came out badass, bro. That movie came out badass. And they're actually making a second one.
Skarsgård did a really good job.
Yeah, man. That was a badass movie. I was like, man, finally somebody that actually recreated an old movie that was actually pretty good. I don't know if you've seen George Romero's new. It's a zombie. It's a zombie movie. It's an old version of Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, or something like that. And
I've probably seen it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's a new one, Bloodline or something that. I didn't like that one. It was like too much of special effects for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just unrealistic. I mean, all of it's not real. It was too much special effects. But I've always been a fan of The Devil's Rejects too. What's his name?
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie, dude. I love Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
The fact that him as a musician, I was already a fan of, and then when I found out that his hot wife was involved in all her movies, I was in love with her. She's the one who plays the Mike Myers' wife in Halloween when he recreated it. But The Devil's Rejects, all those 1,000 Corpses. I love those movies too. I've been a big fan of Rob Zombie and John Carpenter's.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a big business to be in. I would like to be in something like that, at least from like the production studio side of things. But it's definitely a difficult business to be in. I mean, it's entertainment. Entertainment's tough. You got to be consistent. And unless you have the experience and really know what works, and you understand not only the audience but your demographics, and you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in society, like you're not going to make it.
You know what you and me should go do? I know I've always been wanting to go look at the Chainsaw Massacre house. Where they did the filming or whatever. Mm-hmm. We should go out there and do a video.
Another episode?
Yeah, another episode. Oh, also, we got that haunted house too. On in the east side. That we're gonna go check out.
Yeah, and speaking of which, now we can get to the next part of our episode. Mm. Okay, so we're at the point of the show where we've been talking about horror movies, the horror genre in general, and we got Alex here talking to us about how he came into horror. But how do we fit this together with entrepreneurship and business? That's the question. So what we decided to do is, because Alex is a real estate investor and he does a lot of stuff in real estate, like wholesaling, one of the things we decided to do is, why not do our own paranormal investigation at an abandoned house while he teaches me how to evaluate that house for a potential renovation project, and if it's even good to do it as a flip or a rental. So what we have here is we actually went and filmed at a house at an undisclosed location, just for privacy reasons. We can't say where it is or the address or anything like that. But Alex has not seen the video yet. He has not seen the final product. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video with him and see his first reaction of this video. Now, while we did this paranormal investigation, we did the initial walkthrough. I went ahead and edited the video, put it all together so it was nice and quick. And then I went back and I listened to the audio from our EVPs to see if we picked up anything. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to show Alex this video, and he's going to watch it for the very first time. The first video he's going to see is the walkthrough video that we did. The second video he's going to see is the EVP sessions with the amplified audio of what we picked up. All right, so let's go ahead and try this out. All right, there's a can there. Hey everyone, it is Mike with the Mega Multi-Mic, and I have my very first guest for my show, Alex Estrada. Alex Estrada works with me at Hilco Homes, one of my biggest clients, and he is a real estate guy, an investor, wholesaler, does all kinds of stuff with real estate, and he also happens to be an avid horror fan like myself. So, in this episode, we got something fun for you. And what we're going to do is look at a vacant property. He's going to walk me through how to evaluate an investment property deal for renovation work while we do a paranormal investigation. All right, here we go.
Hey, I like your intro. Hey everybody, it's Alex Estrada. I'm here. I've been brought out here to this property to show my friend Mega Multi-Mic how to evaluate a property. I am actually a real estate investor. I do flips. I am a big wholesaler as well. That's how I got started in the real estate profession. And so today what we're going to be doing is, as you can see from the mask, you're wondering why I'm wearing a mask. So what we're going to be doing is actually evaluating a property while doing a paranormal investigation. And so the way we're going to do this is we're going to start from the inside, and I'm going to take you room to room. I'm going to show you how to do a walkthrough with a seller as well, and give you some tips and advice on what you got to be looking out for. So I'm pretty excited, and let's get it going. All right, guys, so we're gonna start off with the kitchen. So when we walk through the side door, we're on the side of the property. We came in through here, not the front. The front's actually stuck and boarded up, so we had to come through here. So as you can tell, this is the kitchen. Okay, the first thing you're gonna already notice is how bad this looks, okay? This is severe mold. So you already know that you're gonna have to have somebody to come out here and take care of that mold. So that's an expense. So when investors are doing the walkthrough and determining the rehab, one of the things that they always look for is the cabinets. Okay, the cabinets and the countertops. As you can tell, the fact that it's just old and in a bad condition, they're going to need to be replaced. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be updating the cabinets, the countertops, the sink. As you can tell, I was pretty sure earlier I saw some blood come out of this, so you know, I'm sure we're going to have to be doing some plumbing issues as well and check it to see if maybe there's a body stuck in the plumbing or something. Also, you know, typically these cabinets are pretty nice. You know, just besides that
Which
dead
these
body
are
pot.
not. These are not.
which these are not. But if it was a little better condition, if they had a severe mold, maybe for the dead rats inside the cabinets, and that couple of fingers I found in this cabinet over here, I think they would, you know, clean it out. If somebody was trying to maybe get this as rental property, was in a severe rehab, they would definitely take out the body parts from the cabinets, take out the dead rats, fix out, clean up the mold, maybe right here, and maybe touch it up, and boom, rent ready. You know what I'm saying? So this, when it comes to this, cabinets, countertops, sinks need to be updated. This is very old. They're gonna take this out. They're gonna replace it with the new one. Now, if we come over here, let's come over here. And we take a look at the floors. Oh my God, look at those floors. Oh no, man. Oh no. Man, this house has a lot of issues, I tell you, man. As I said before, now that we already went through the kitchen and what to look for with that, I want to go ahead and start talking about you know, other things like any foundation leveling. Maybe you have some cracks in the area. This is things that you need to be asking the seller. So typically when you're on the walkthrough, you don't want to be those assholes that are always, oh man, look at this, oh man, look at that. No, you want to let them know that you see it, okay, and you politely build that rapport with, because the idea of the walkthrough is building a rapport with them, so that way after the walkthrough, after they've seen that you've looked and you've touched that and everything, they know you're already subconsciously prepping them for a lower offer after the walkthrough. Okay, so
okay,
this is
so
the way
we're looking at this house right
That's
here,
crazy.
right? And I can feel like the floor is kind of sloping this way. I can see there's cracks in the walls.
So it goes right there and it goes up.
I know that when we came in here
That's
to
pretty
scope
tight.
out that property, you know, a couple weeks ago, there was actually a pentagram still painted up on the wall.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not there anymore. And supposedly, the story goes with this particular property.
That
and
is
for
crazy.
privacy reasons, we can't disclose where it's located, the address, or who the owners and previous residents are, and that's perfectly fine. You know, but supposedly there is an elderly gentleman who lived here, and he was taking care of his grandkids. There's rumors that say they brought something home from school, and things started happening around the house, right? So there was like noises, and everybody thought the grandpa was going crazy because he was hearing things and seeing things, and the kids were, you know, well, they have imaginations, right? So who believes who? And but yeah, the neighbors hadn't seen anybody come out for a while, and they checked up on them, had the police come, and they found all 3 of them dead. So if you're doing these kind of walkthroughs and you got all this stuff that needs to be repaired, how do you explain to a potential buyer about buying a haunted property?
Well, you know, there's the HOA, especially if the property is either historic or an HOA and subdivision. You know, HOA has a very strong regulations against hauntings when you know you're putting the property on, you know, market. So you might want to bring like maybe a witch doctor or maybe a priest, somebody to come and you know, do bless the house and do an exorcism. But sometimes that doesn't always work. So then
it's unreliable. I mean, it's not
unreliable.
an exact science.
I know.
Speaking of science, we actually have a computer system set up here to collect EVP samples. So we'll see if there's anything here actually. All right, so our computer system has been set up. We got one very sensitive microphone that should be enough for the entire room. And since Alex here is a huge fan of horror stuff, I'm going to let him take the lead on this. So Alex, do you want to see if there's, I don't know, spirits or something?
Yes. I guess I kind of heard something as we were doing it, so I think we might have something here. Right when I was talking about something, I felt behind me. And then try to see if we could call them out, okay? Spirits, hear me. I don't know. I've seen this on Ghost Adventure, so.
Yeah, well, they're the experts.
Spirits, if there's anybody here in the house, can you please make yourself known? You heard that?
Yeah, I think it was a car outside.
Oh.
Just FYI, we're not in the best neighborhood.
I still get scared. It's still scary outside.
Yeah, it's probably scarier than what's in here.
If you died in here, can you please tell us your name? Spirits, we are calling you. Please come to us. Make yourself known.
All right, so there's nothing immediately happening, but I'll check back with you after we've listened to the audio and checked it for anything, and then yeah, we'll have an update for you. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, we're gonna move on to the next room. So Alex, we're gonna take the hall, and what's next? I think the bathroom, right?
Yes, the bathroom.
All right, let's take a look at that.
So we're gonna go ahead and come and talk about the hallway. I'm gonna start off with the hallway real quick. As you can see, it needs severe. It's gonna need severe sheetrock. Everything's the door looks like it came out of a Dr. Seuss book. And it's just all torqued out, so of course everything's gonna have to be leveled. But first, it always starts with the foundation. But let's come over here and let's talk about the restroom. Now, as you can see here, there's a slope in the restroom. That's gonna need a repair. The foundation's gonna need to be leveled, and the plumbing's gonna need to be fixed. Typically, with the older houses, what happens is that they have cast iron. So the cast iron, it rusted, it breaks, it deteriorates. So of course, they're gonna update it with PVC. But I kind of wanted to tell you, about a story, an article that I actually read here. So apparently, when they had, found, when they came in and after not hearing anything back from the family, and nobody hasn't seen anybody come out of this house for days, they came and checked, and one of the things that they found was actually one of the kids face down in a pool of blood in this bathroom. So that was real freaky. I even got chills just thinking about it. So it's creepy sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I can always feel, whenever time I pass by here, I can always feel like a presence or something cold really like trying to grab my attention. It's weird. I can't even describe the feeling. All right, everybody, so we come in this room. This is actually the second child's room. Well, actually, this is where both of the kids supposedly had lived. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about the floor. Now, you can't really see it at the moment, but the floor is very warped, okay? And yeah, so if it was not warped and it was just dirty, like this. It's all wavy. Yeah. Okay, and I've honestly never even seen a floor warped as bad as this. Trying to show it. Like I said, man, it looks like something out of a scary Dr. Seuss book. It's like Dr. Seuss meets Goosebumps R.L. Stein. You know what I'm saying?
And then all of this stuff here on the floor is from the ceiling, which fell off.
Whole ceiling is half off. Like the whole sheetrock, so the whole thing's gonna need to be replaced. So typically something like this is gonna.
Those beams
what they do is they get either a big sheet or two and cut them in half and properly finish putting them down. Cut out all that excess right here, or make it one straight line, and they'll fill it in, and boom, they're done. Now you can even see it from these beams that the wood is still in good condition, and that's really good, especially for all the severe mold that we had found.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, this is crazy. But you know, there is some salvageable wood in this on this property, in this house, and so that's a good thing. And you can even see it from right here that the wood underneath the shingle roof, the plywood, it's actually in really great shape as well. So that's good. At least they don't gotta replace the beams, because that's expensive.
Cool. Now, I know part of the story goes that they found the other child in this room. I don't know how it was set up or how they found him. Like, that was never disclosed to the public. But one interesting thing I will point out is that there is a creepy picture here on the floor. And yeah, I don't know who that is, and I'm not going to touch that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and try an EVP in this room. We got our mics set up. And Alex, you want to take it away?
Yes.
Okay.
So I started off the way I did in the other room?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, spirits, come to me. No, just playing. Spirits, please come. If you are here, please make yourself known. We are your friends. We want to let you leave in peace if you're stuck between worlds. What is your name if you are here with us? Can you tell me the lottery numbers for Tuesday's winning jackpot?
Worth a try.
Yeah. You never know.
Never know.
They say sometimes ghosts will let you have you see, future premonitions or whatever. So at least be useful about it.
You never know. All right. Well, there's only one room left in the house, so we'll go and check that one out and see if there's anything.
All right. So we walk over here. This floor is actually has carpet. And I can even tell just by walking all over it, there's some steps. There's going to be some spots that are like sinking in, so they're going to have to redo this floor as well. Also, so when you do a walkthrough, as I was talking about before, when you see cracks like this, what you do with if you're walking with the cellar is first, you don't be like, oh man, look at all these cracks. What you do is you just touch it and kind of ask about the shifting in the property, has it settled? Cracks in the house, but as you can tell, the severity, distressed condition this is in, you don't need to ask, okay? You don't need to ask. But typically, what people would do in this is they'll tape and flow it, paint it, boom, you're done. This is typically probably be like a $5,000 job in this room alone. With the severity of the cracks, take out the carpet, replace it, probably put some nice towel in here, and they'll probably also touch up on they'll probably leave this, but fix it where it's nicely, fix it with cosmetically, put a door on it, and then they'll also do the same right here as well. So, since we're here, do you want to do an EVP as well?
Sure, we'll go ahead and try it.
Cool.
If there's anybody here, would you like to tell us something? How long have you been in this house? Do you want someone to fix this house? If no one fixes it, will you leave? Okay, so...
What kind of tile do you want on the floor? What color would you prefer this room? Do you think I should shop at Home Depot or Lowe's for the savings? Well, all right. I guess we'll know when we review it, right?
Yeah, we'll check it out later. And we will have after we're done here, we're going to pack up, and then we will see you guys at our office and do a recap segment and finish out the episode. All right? Thanks for watching. All right, now we're going to watch the EVP sessions, but with the amplified audio And I also went ahead and put in text for those of you who are watching this that can't hear it, so we can read what we believe was being said in the EVP sessions.
Let's just go ahead and try to see if we can call them out, okay? Spirits, hear me. I don't know. I've seen this on Ghost Adventure, so.
Yeah, well, they're the experts.
Spirits, if there's anybody here in the house, can you please make yourself known? You heard that?
Yeah, I think it was a car outside.
Oh.
Just FYI, we're not in the best neighborhood.
I'm still getting scared. It's still scary outside.
Yeah, it's probably scarier than what's in here.
If you died in here, can you please tell us your name? Spirit, we are calling you. Please come to us. Make yourself known. Wow, that's crazy.
All right, so there's nothing immediately happening.
Oh, spirits, come to me. No, just playing. Spirits, please come. If you are here, please make yourself known. We are your friends. We want to let you leave in peace if you're stuck between worlds. What is your name if you are here with us? Flacco. Can you tell me the lottery numbers for Tuesday's winning jackpot?
Worth a try.
Yeah. Cool.
If there's anybody here, would you like to tell us something? How long have you been in this house?
Long enough to see some crazy ass shit.
What the
You
hell?
want someone to fix this house?
For free? Hell yeah!
Oh my god, dude.
Fix it, will you leave?
Yeah, I still owe child support.
Okay, so
What kind of tile do you want on the floor?
Surprise me.
Oh my god, dude. You're so
What color
stupid.
would you prefer this room?
Aquamarine and an ivory trim.
You think I should shop at Home Depot or Lowe's for the savings?
Lowe's.
Lowe's. Make us do it.
Well,
all right.
I guess we'll know when we review it, right?
Yeah, we'll check it out later. So there you have it, folks. If you didn't believe in ghosts before, we now have definitive proof that they exist. So, what did you think of that experience?
It was very bone chilling. I think when I would look back at that experience, it makes me want to do more. You know what I'm saying? It makes me want to see what kind of experience can I get more at our next one, right? And I can't believe that we actually heard something in the EVPs, man.
Yeah, it was crazy clear too. Like, I didn't hear it before.
Yeah, I think the ghost might have been a Republican or might have voted for Trump, at some point during the election. But that's great.
So, in terms of doing this walkthrough, investment property wise, yes or no? Like, what would you say?
Well, I believe every property would sell, right? But that one needs to be severely low. I don't even think it's where it needs to be right now. That's why it's still in the market. But good investment for the location. I think I would pass on that one.
Yeah.
It's right next to the highway, and you know how loud that is.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys heard in the audio, that you could hear cars passing by and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I mean, close to the road.
Yeah, I think I think I should go over there and hire the the ghost as a designer for
Interior
my next
decorator.
project. Interior decorator. Yeah, man, that was awesome. But we're gonna do our next one, right?
Yeah, eventually. We'll figure out how and when we're going to do that one.
Then we should put out the Ouija board.
Apparently, that house really is haunted. We actually have a picture, and I'm going to post that here in a bit. But yeah, if you're watching this, I'm going to try to center the image about right here, maybe. We'll see. I'll do it in post.
I like how you put it right there, so when you look back at it, you know where to do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's it for the first interview episode of the Mega
Awesome,
Multi-Mic Show. Alex, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks,
thank you for spending time with me and my audience. All 6 of you who are following me. And,
6 is better than 5. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's only gonna get better.
Yes,
All
it
right.
is.
Well, thanks for being on the show, and
Thanks, man.
thanks for watching, guys. So until next time.